And as the cultural capital, it had an important place in the heart of the Finnish people. It also had a great masterwork of architecture. In this postcard, this white modern building is the library created by Alvar Aalto, and also the site for which he made some of his really masterpieces of furniture that you see here, as well, of course, the architecture itself. But because it was taken over by Russia and the Finnish people sent away in minutes, truly minutes, it was erased from the Finnish mentality, or rather it was frozen in the 1930s. And Aalto himself said that his building was destroyed. It no longer existed. He was right, it was destroyed, but he meant that it didn't exist because it was now Russian. And what Lisa did was to try to reimagine how this place can be both Finnish and Russian, rather than this very sharp break, which was the social situation. And to do so, she spent time there. This is one of the aspects of this practice: spending time, being present, being a little slow. It's not a quality we think we should have with contemporary art, being a little slow. And one of her experiences was meeting this Russian architect who's well in his 80s, who tried to save the building as much as he could from being renovated beyond any recognition. Her other strategy, not that she began with this when she boarded the train to Viborg, but as it unfolded, was to work with a group of high school students, and ultimately this group of girls became the core, in a series of writing workshops, in playwriting, in other activities that they did with her and with social workers and with teachers, to tell the story of their city and to imagine how the city looks to these young Russian girls. She also discovered in this building a great need. And so another thing she made a goal of the project was to get this building onto the World Monument Fund list of the 100 most endangered buildings, and ultimately to work to bring parties together, including Finnish groups, to raise money to renovate this building. See, it has these really crazy skylights here, so the threat of water is pretty dramatic in this building. And ultimately, one of the gestures which they did too was to bring people by train from Helsinki to Viborg, this is near St. Petersburg, and the girls to be their tour guide, so that there would be a way that people could re-embrace this place and in fact mend this division that had happened during World War II. Those are only some of the projects that she did with people there over this time. The playwriting was not the point, was not the aim. The tours were not the aim. The aim was to repair an image of a city for two countries, both of which have a stake in it as history has unfolded.
Ecco qua una serie di immagini dal lavoro di Lisa Roberts, che ha lavorato appunto nella città di Viipuri, che era la capitale della Finlandia, la capitale culturale tra l'altro della Finlandia, dove aveva lavorato l'architetto Alvar Aalto e dove c'erano stati momenti appunto di alta identità per la Finlandia. Poi durante la guerra è passata all'Unione Sovietica con una rottura drammatica della sua stessa identità, oltre che con un degrado evidente degli edifici. Allora Il punto qui è che lei ha individuato l'edificio più interessante, ha coinvolto una serie di studenti delle scuole medie superiori, molti docenti, ha organizzato dei pullman che andavano a vedere questo luogo, ha organizzato un fundraising per cercare di sistemare il sito stesso, è riuscita a fare includere l'architettura in un elenco delle architetture che necessitavano manutenzione straordinaria, è riuscita a portare gente in treno da San Pietroburgo ma anche dalla Finlandia, in qualche modo recuperando la doppia identità, la doppia, come dire, valenza culturale e allora il punto qui non era però evidentemente fare ciascuna di queste singole azioni che ho menzionato e tante altre che hanno richiesto tra l'altro tempi lunghi, qualcosa che nell'arte contemporanea non è contemplato molto spesso. Il punto qui era appunto riportare la città e questo suo cuore architettonico a far parte dell'identità di chi la poteva di nuovo vivere.
Another example comes from Puerto Rico, the work of an artist, Cheme Rosado. Cheme's work met the intent of the government and the businesses of Puerto Rico, that having used all the land at the shore, now wanted to begin to build fancy hotels and resorts and high-priced houses in the interior on the mountainside. And to do so, they needed to take away a squatter village that had been for a long time located there because they were on the mountain where nobody wanted to be because everybody wanted to be by the water. But when you use all the land on the water, then you have to keep moving to the next place. So this became a desired place. The intent of the government and business was to make this village go away. The intent of the artist was to make this village go away. Like Lisa Roberts, he did many different projects. I know it sounds like a contradiction. I'll explain. So among many projects, creating a little museum in the village, working with youth, lots of projects like that on the inside, and this effective way with process means multiple steps. So this is a characteristic. But the way that he succeeded to and had the desired effect of making the little village go away to satisfy this need was that with a nearby university, he joined forces with the architecture students, and they donated their time to paint everybody's house a color green. So you could have your house painted for free. You just must pick a color green. And so painting every house green on the green mountainside made the town go away. And his piece is called All the Town is a Work of Art. This work of art still exists. Green. So they would be part of the trees. Yeah. So this is in progress.
Allora,
It's a
questo
green town.
Cheme Rosado, artista che ha lavorato in Porto Rico, è intervenuto su un villaggio che era estremamente appetito dalle autorità locali e dagli speculatori, perché era un luogo ideale per fare degli hotel divertenti, insomma un luogo di divertimento e così. Certamente non di vita diciamo reale, però il problema è che qui sorge un villaggio di locali, e quindi questo posto del desiderio, visto dal punto di vista degli speculatori, è diventato un problema, perché si è cercato di distruggerlo, e anche l'artista in qualche modo ha cercato di distruggerlo. andando incontro però ai suoi abitanti, ovvero che cosa ha utilizzato? Ha utilizzato anche qui un processo lento, dicendo che avrebbe dipinto a tutti la casa di grigio gratis, quindi avrebbe verde, scusate, questo che non capivo. Sì, infatti. Allora non traduco più. No, veramente vi chiedo, è necessario che traduca? No? Va bene, allora farò più svelta. Comunque, insomma, sostanzialmente questo green, che è grigio, che non è grigio ma è verde, fa sì che il paesaggio diventi tutto più uniforme, più vicino agli alberi, così mi torna anche il discorso, e quindi in qualche modo effettivamente il paesaggio, il villaggio tende a scomparire.
So an example from Italy, okay, from Venice and Mestre, of the collective art way of thinking. So a project where this group was asked to do something with, my colors changed, do something with the youth of Mestre that seemed a bit lost. And so the project became to study what was Mestre, to look with these young people what this place was about, and to observe it, to ask a question: if Mestre was a person, what kind of person? Male, female, sick, healthy. What kind of job would this person have? So, so this went for some time, and the aim was to understand this place. The goal originally was to make a constructive activity for the youth, but that goal was not the artist's goal. That goal was the administration's goal. And then the artists took that and found another goal after they came to understand this place. And that is that they found that the citizens of Mestre are people of the water who can't get to the land, because, as you know, it's the industrial port, and that this is true for the 300,000 people who were there. They also found there are another 300,000 people in Mestre who come through on the container ships, who are the seafarers, who are people of the water who can't get to the land. Facile, right? People of the land can't get to the water, people of the water can't get to the land. So, what to do? Of course, it meant that through a number of actions and projects, they had to come to understand each other. And it began with such actions like shopkeepers being sensitized to be hospitable to the seafarers who needed to come for services, for food, for health, for la posta, whatever. And to actually change that reception of this place. And like the stories that we have been looking at, to make something invisible visible. Because we all eat the food and have the things that come on the container ships, but the people on those ships are invisible. And this led to the creation and incorporation of activities within 2 social service agencies. One in Mestre, one in Venice, maritime agencies for these individuals. That was not the intention in the beginning, but that was a goal that emerged when the situation was understood.
Allora, qui abbiamo le Art Way of Thinking, che noi tutti conosciamo, che hanno lavorato su di un luogo problematico come Mestre, chiedendo, partendo da una commissione pubblica il cui obiettivo era costruire qualcosa per i giovani. Questo obiettivo è stato, come dire, ribaltato dalle Art Way of Thinking e quindi piegato da un'esigenza dell'amministrazione in una reinterpretazione da parte delle artiste stesse. Per esempio, una delle cose che è venuta fuori è che ci sono 300.000 persone che non riescono ad arrivare all'acqua e 300.000 persone che non riescono ad arrivare alla terra. Ci sono cioè esigenze che considerando la divisione Venezia Mestre, Venezia d'acqua e Mestre parte di terraferma della città, ponevano appunto delle paradossali e reciproche difficoltà. E quindi uno dei lavori una delle maniere è stato lavorare con i negozianti, cercare di convincerli a entrare in un processo collaborativo, fino a formare due momenti, due luoghi di interazione con le persone che manifestavano le due differenti esigenze.
Now I will try with Angela's help to take you through another history, veloce, of my practice, and to pick up on a story that some of us know each other by, which Angela had mentioned, work which I have done in the city of Charleston, South Carolina, so here, kind of in the middle, on the southeast coast of the United States, and which began with the goal of making an exhibition for a festival, the Spoleto Festival in Charleston. The goal was an exhibition. So the aim, in reverse, came second. So visiting this place with artists, and I won't talk about these projects, was visiting with these artists and seeing that this is a place with a very deep and problematic history in the United States. It is the capital of slavery in North America. And in this history, it was a situation where, as a visitor, no one spoke of slavery, and no one spoke of the African and African American history of this place. So, with the goal of making an exhibition, the aim became to tell a hidden history through site-specific installations where the location helped to bring the story forward. I pause for a moment. With this work, which is by the African-American artist David Hammonds, that proved to be very prophetic in this exhibition. He chose to make this house as a kind of tourist attraction, and across the street to make a park which would honor the children and give them a sense of pride, and was a piece which in this temporary exhibition remained permanently, still today.
Allora, questa è un'esperienza appunto di cui abbiamo già accennato prima, e cioè